guys, Laurel here. Welcome back to my channel, or hello and welcome if you are new. If you haven't been here before, make sure that if you like this video, you hit that subscribe button down below so that you always know when I post a new video. I'll also link my family vlog channel down below and up in the iCard for you in case you haven't been over there before. So, if you can hear those noises, those are my baby boy Sawyer. He is 2 weeks old today, so this is our 2-week baby update and postpartum update. This is little Sawyer. He's 2 weeks old today. Say hi, Sawyer. Look, he waved at you guys. He is going to be hanging out with me for the video, so you may hear some little squeaks and noises from him, but he is hopefully going to fall asleep, so he's just down in front of me here. So as I said, Sawyer is 2 weeks old today. And we haven't had a doctor's appointment this week because my doctor is on vacation. So as of 11 days old, he was 9 pounds, 9 ounces and 23.5 inches long, which is still down from his birth weight of 912. But as I said in my last update, I think a lot of that was IV fluids because I had a C-section, and that wouldn't really have been his weight had he been a vaginal birth, or had I not had IV fluids. And then up half an inch from 23 inches when he was born. Yes, he was the longest baby of all time, and I have no idea how he fit in my torso. Are you done? So let's jump right in. For feeding, we had, as I mentioned in my first update, a lot of struggles with breastfeeding. I will link that one up here for you so that if you're confused, you can go take a look at that. So at 11 days old, we actually had his tongue tie clipped. And what that is, if you're not familiar, it's that piece of webbing that connects your tongue to the bottom of your mouth. And sometimes it's too big and it really affects the baby's latch when they're breastfeeding, causes a lot of pain, sometimes causes gas for them, causes them to not nurse very effectively. So we actually did go see a specialist. We had that tongue tie released or revised or clipped, whatever you want to call it. And it did seem to help a bit right away, which is great. Sometimes you still have to retrain their latch so that they actually learn how to latch properly now that the tongue is fixed. And we did start that process, but unfortunately, because of complications I'm having that I will talk about in the postpartum section of this video, we actually weren't able to continue breastfeeding. So at 12 days, unfortunately, I had to stop breastfeeding. And he is now on formula. He is doing so well on formula. Something I mentioned that I thought was maybe related to the tongue tie in my first video was that he was constantly hungry, and I would feed him and then he would throw up and then he'd be starving again, and it was just this vicious cycle. I thought throwing up was from extra gas because of a bad latch, and I thought that the insatiable hunger was because with a bad latch they don't get as much hind milk, they only get fore milk. It's kind of really complicated if you don't know a whole lot about breastfeeding, which would not be as fatty and filling and that sort of thing. So a whole bunch of compounding issues that I thought were causing him to just be hungry all the time. And it seems like maybe that was the case. But we've switched to formula and he is so much happier now. He eats 3 to 4 ounces every 3 hours during the day and every 3 to 5 hours at night, and I'll talk about that more in the sleep section. But he is doing amazingly on the formula. For the first time after we gave him a full bottle of formula, he was content after he ate. He wasn't crying, he wasn't still rooting around, he wasn't fussing, and he was just content, and he laid awake for a few minutes and he started cooing and making noises, and then he happily went to sleep. And those are all things that he wasn't doing while I was breastfeeding. So while it was a tough decision to give up and switch to formula, I honestly am so happy with the decision because he is doing so much better, it seems like. And I'm really anxious to see where his weight is at when he gets weighed next week when my doctor's back from vacation, because I think he'll be a decent amount heavier now that he's getting the food that he needs. As for sleep, as I said, he eats way less at night, and that's because he gets a solid 4 to 5 hour chunk of sleep and then a solid 3 to 4 hour chunk of sleep. So he's only waking up once in the night, which is amazing. We take him to bed with us, whatever time that is, between 10, 11-ish, and he'll sleep till 3 or 4 and have a bottle. And then he'll wake up again around 7:30 when the other boys are getting up and Jesse's already up, and I feed him, and it's perfect. It's working out so well for a routine, and we're feeling so well rested, and I'm so grateful for that. During the day, he also still sleeps most of the time. Now that he's full, as I said, he will stay awake for 15-20 minutes sort of after he eats, and then he is happy to just drift off to sleep, and he'll have a 2-3 hour nap. So that is really great. I'm feeling super grateful. As you guys may know from other videos, both our older boys, who are 6 and 3 now, have also always been amazing sleepers. So I think it's just something in our genes that we're all great sleepers, and I'm very grateful for that. As for milestones, he's only 2 weeks old. There aren't really any milestones to be had. As I talked about last week, he's doing really great holding his head up. He doesn't really like tummy time all that much yet, but he's still pretty young, so I'm not really too concerned about it. And because his head control is already so strong, I'm okay with waiting a little bit longer until he's more comfortable laying on his belly. But that's really the only milestone he's hit. He smiles when he's milk drunk in his sleep, but he doesn't smile at us quite yet. And as I said, he has started cooing a little bit and making noises, and that's really cute to hear. So for the postpartum part of this video, it's probably gonna be the longer part, to be honest. I am 2 weeks postpartum, obviously. I had, if you don't know, if you didn't watch the first video, I had a C-section. I was in the hospital 3 days, and then I was home, and the actual postpartum healing of my C-section went amazingly, even better than the last time did. My C-section incision was healed, I want to say pretty much healed by 7 days, and now at 2 weeks, like, it's almost gone. It's completely healed. It turned pink. It started doing its whole scarring process. Like, it's not scabby or anything like that. It's pretty much completely healed. So that is amazing. It definitely took longer than that with my second pregnancy. As well, my insides in that area feel great. I had some discomfort, obviously, for the first couple days, and since about 6 or 7 days postpartum, I've been feeling really good in that regard. Unfortunately, shortly after all of that started getting healed up, I started having unbearable stomach pains, and not in any way related to the C-section stuff, because that was all healed up. These were up in my upper stomach. I think I touched briefly on them in the last update, because it had just started at that point. Up in my upper abdomen, like right under my bust, and that is still going on. It actually got worse from the last time that I talked to you guys. I ended up spending a day in the ER. I had an ultrasound, I had blood work. It's been really rough. And that was the reason that I actually stopped nursing, because that day that it got so bad, which was 12 days postpartum, I couldn't even care for Sawyer. I couldn't sit up, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't feed him, and I didn't want to go to the hospital. I didn't want to leave my baby. I also didn't want to bring him to a germy emergency room. So I was having all these conflicted feelings, so I decided that I was going to take the prescription medications that I have at my disposal at home and try and make myself feel better so that I could continue on and get on with this day. And because I decided to do that, I decided to stop nursing, because the medications I have, what I usually take for extreme pain, has codeine in it, and that actually metabolizes into morphine in your body, and I was not okay with him having morphine in his system. Doctors will prescribe it, though they will prescribe T3s after a C-section, or T2s, which have codeine in them, but I'm just not at all comfortable with that. It makes babies sleepy, and in some cases has actually caused like SIDS type episodes, and babies have died from it. So I'm not okay with it as much as they say it is typically safe. So with wanting to take that medication and also being in such pain and so sick that I physically could not feed him, I decided I had to be done. He needed too much food too often. I was in too much pain. I was too sick. I had to take this medication that I didn't feel comfortable with nursing, and it needed to be done. I do have a whole story about my breastfeeding experience with the last two boys, which I will link for you guys if you're interested in that. For us, this was the best decision I could make at the time for both of our health and my mental health and all of that. And I'm really glad that I did make that decision. I don't regret it at all. Everyone in the house is happier, is more relaxed. I'm less in pain. I'm feeling less like I don't want anyone to touch me because I have a baby on me constantly. I'm enjoying life a whole lot more, and I know that he is feeling a whole lot better because he is full and content, as I talked about earlier. So I've had all these complications. I had to stop nursing. That has actually gone pretty well. I'm still drying up. I still have some milk, but I'm not in a ton of pain or anything like that. It's just taking a little bit to work its way out of my system, and that's fine. And I'm still just dealing with this stomach issue. I'm on antibiotics in case there's an infection. I'm on a bland diet in case it's something to do with my gallbladder, or I don't know. None of the doctors know what's wrong with me, which is really frustrating. Jesse was supposed to go back to work today, and he couldn't. And I have had 2 attacks already today. I call them attacks, I don't know what else to call them, because the issue flares up when I have this incredible pain, and I take some medication and I put a heat pack on my belly, and it goes away in about 20 or 30 minutes usually. So I'm dealing with that, but otherwise everything's going really well. A happy side effect of these stomach issues that I'm having is that I've already lost 31 pounds at 14 days, so that's pretty awesome. I'm really happy to get a jump start on my fitness journey. I just wish it was for a better reason and that it wasn't because I'm sick and in pain. But I don't want this video to sound really negative or complainy or anything like that. We are honestly doing really well. We are so happy to have our family complete, and we are absolutely loving our little Sawyer. The boys are doing so well adjusting, and I think it'll get even better once Oliver starts school in 8 days, and he's really excited about that. He's going into 1st grade, and Reed is going to be going to preschool part-time, 2 half-days a week, which will start a couple weeks from now, I think. So I think once they get into their routines for the rest of the year, and I have some alone time with Sawyer, which hopefully will include some nap time so I can have some alone time, I think everything will get much better, and everyone will be happy and settled in their routines, and it'll be nice just to see what life is actually like, being a mom of 3 little busy boys. So I'm going to show you my postpartum belly, which I guess I should stop calling it that because it's not really a belly anymore. And that'll be everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really look forward to continuing with these baby and postpartum updates, and hopefully also getting some other content up on my channel soon. Once my stomach issues are resolved, I'll be able to do more filming, especially vlogging for the family vlog channel. and just more filming in general and get some other content up for you guys. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in our next one. Bye guys.